Why do rich people catch cases in countries like Romania? We can talk about the fact that it is very common for people who are outlandishly wealthy in previously communist states to catch criminal cases. And it's a way to subjugate and satisfy those who are not wealthy, to show that being rich has a consequence, to avoid discontentment amongst the populace. We can talk about it from that perspective. Then we can talk about it from a philosophical perspective. Why did this case happen? Well, this case happened for me to learn things. Right?
What did you learn?
Well, there's some lessons for me to learn. Lesson one, which is a lesson that I observed, but I refused to learn, which is to be more careful what I say on the internet. But I refuse to learn that lesson. I see the lesson. The gold coin's been offered to me, but I've declined.
But is that to do with ego?
I think it's to do with simple risk reward.
But
I've decided that the consequences of talking on the internet are worth it, so I'm going to do it. Same as robbing a bank.
But if another man was shown a lesson,
Yeah.
and you saw him in real life not following the lesson, from the content that I've seen of you over the last 5 years, I believe that you'd call him a fucking idiot.
Well, it depends on the lesson. And it depends if he's prepared to take the consequences. If you're going to sit and feel sorry for yourself for the consequences of your own actions, and I'll call you an idiot. If you're going to make a conscious decision and live with the consequences like a man, I'll never call you an idiot.
Right.
If you're going to sit there and say, this may result in this, but I'm prepared for it, then go for it all day long. But you can't sit and say, oh my God, I don't know. Have you ever seen me on any podcast cry about going to jail? Have you seen me say that it's corrupt and it's not fair? I went to jail. I went to jail because I had a big mouth and I pissed off important people. Fine. I haven't stopped. I'll keep doing it. Put me back. Fine. I've made my choice. I've made my decision. I'm not crying about it.
So your dad was in the CIA, right?
Yes.
And growing up, you're learning chess off your dad. He's teaching you about the CIA operations that maybe he may have been involved with.
Yeah.
Now, you and I both know the CIA like to control both sides of narratives geopolitically.
Yeah.
They own the good side of the argument and they own the bad side of the argument. Yeah. So people have got it in their heads that you could be, control opposition in this case.
Interesting.
So, what's your thesis on this? Are you controlled opposition? Because, people are asking.
Well, I see why some people may think that, I guess. I mean, it's pretty empty logic, though, because I think what I try and do is convince people to think for themselves as opposed to make them think anything at all.